What's up guys, Dr. Dan here back at Beat Fitness. We're gonna get into the second exercise of my big three that I try to teach each one of my patients. These are exercises that you should be doing every day, probably 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day to really help increase your spinal health, increase the muscle elasticity and the posture in your body, right? So in the first video, we talked about the thoracic extension exercise. The second most important thing that I feel that you as a person can do is work on stretching your hands, your forearms, and your shoulders out, right? So a lot of people, again, spend a lot of time throughout the day typing on a computer, putting their arms in this pronated state, which causes the shoulder to roll forward. Sometimes that really even arches or squishes the neck, right? These muscles on the forearm and the bicep and the chest throughout our life, they get really tight. So if you think about grandmas and grandpaps, and I love grandmas and grandpaps, but they don't always have the best posture, right? So we see these people as we get older that start walking around like this, right? That's from years and years and years of chronic shortening and tightening of the muscles of the front and weakness in the muscles of the back. So the second exercise that I always like to get into with patients, I call it the complete flexor stretch, right? It's called the complete flexor stretch because it's gonna help stretch all of your flexor muscles. We start the exercise, we find a wall or something that has nice hard space to it. We're gonna take our hand, we're gonna turn it upside down. We're gonna open our fingers nice and wide. We're gonna plant that hand right on the wall here. We're gonna straighten the elbow. We're gonna keep the palm against the wall. And then we're gonna practice lowering the shoulder and just turning away like this, right? So in this stretch, we are stretching the muscles in the forearm, the palm, the bicep, the chest. And this is really helping to floss the nerves through your muscles and get you nice and loose, right? You're gonna hold this for about 10 seconds, or if you feel comfortable, and you should always consult a healthcare practitioner before you start any of these things, give me about 10 little bounces to help loosen up that chest right here. This exercise is great for anybody who works at a computer, hairdressers that use their hands all day long, really just anybody who's always caught in that gripping exercise. If way high up is too hard, and you catch yourself jamming your shoulder up, you're gonna practice a little lower first, straighten the elbow, try to lower that shoulder blade, and then we're just gonna turn right away from that hand. Most people, when they start this exercise, however, have to only just go just a little bit because you're gonna be really tight as you start this. So again, complete flexor stretch, hand turns backwards, we plant it on the wall, we turn away from that, we hold it for about 10 seconds, or we give ourselves a nice little dynamic stretch by just kind of turning the pelvis right away from our hand. The better you get at this exercise, the higher that you can go. Remember, try to always keep that shoulder blade pulled down so that we don't let that arm jam up and kind of tighten up in our neck or anything like that. Try to do this 3 times a day for about 10 seconds or 10 of those little reps. It's the second exercise in Dr. Dan's Big 3. I recommend to everybody that you start doing this about 3, 4, 5 times a day to really help loosen up your hand, your forearm, and your chest. We'll catch you guys later.